Well, hello, everybody. We are live. For those of you who are saying, well, who's we? Where's Judy? Where's
She's off to the side.
so what we talked about, for those of you that watch Sunday Fun Day, that we were going to do kind of a little sort of short lesson on sapphires, and we'll talk about some of the gemstones that are available right now. So this is not Sunday Fun Day.
No, and that's why I'm off to the side,
So
because I'm invisible. I'm the producer. I'm the one who's pulling all the strings. So watch your P's and
I'm just a
Q's.
marionette.
But this will be fun.
Well, so we have to have Wednesday Spends Day, if they're going to get some jewelry. How about that? Now, also, don't forget, Karen is with us. And I wanted this to be very interactive since we are doing this live. I know we do Facebook Lives also. But for those of you that have a question specific to gemstones, my marionette over there will tell me what those questions are, and we can try and answer them live. But shameless plug of the book. Judy and I were just talking about this. This book is out of print, my Colored Gemstone book, but it's still available on an ebook format. And we're going to give you links so you can get that or the Opal book. But anyway, we're going to start by talking about Sapphire. Okay, Sapphire happens to be one of the most beautiful gemstones on planet Earth. It's also, year in and year out, the most popular colored gemstone sold every single year, as long as they've been keeping track of it. Now, you might be saying, wait a minute, how is that even possible? Well, they do sell more diamonds than sapphires, but that's not considered a colored gem. That's another gem altogether. But as far as colored gemstones are concerned, rubies, turquoise, tourmaline, amethyst, citrine, all of that, sapphire each and every year is far and away the number one. In fact, in my book, in the back of my book, I talk about, I don't know if you remember this, Judy, there was a publication called Colored Gemstone Magazine. And every year they would list the top 10 colored gemstones sold in the world. And every year, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, and so on, sapphire was number one. And if that wasn't amazing enough, there were some years where fancy sapphire, which means all the other colors except blue, were in the top 10 as well. But the blue sapphire lives on its own. Yes, it is a birthstone for the month of September, which is why we're being very topical now, this being the second day of September. And also, for those of you that like to keep up with the stones of the zodiac, it would be the zodiac sign for Taurus. So that would be April 21st, I believe it is, till May 21st. Ooh, strong like bull. So that is the sapphire. Now, sapphire, when we start talking about some of the other criteria, it's 9 on the Mohs scale of hardness, which is second only to the diamond. It is also rated excellent on the toughness scale. Now, what does that mean when we say the tough? Oh, here we go. Great question by Andrea. Are sapphires a hard or a soft stone? It is most definitely a hard stone. Now, remember, the hardness of a gemstone is the ability to withstand scratching. And literally, it's the ability for one gem to scratch another gem. Sapphire is 9 on the hardness scale, and a diamond is a 10. So it's second only to the diamond. Now, in not just being a hard stone, it's also what we call sort of a tenacious stone, because then they talk about the toughness test of a gemstone. That's the ability to withstand cracking or fracturing altogether. And that's what you get with sapphire being second only to jade in terms of its toughness. Now, next question. I have a few friends who use sapphires as their engagement rings. However, I feel like the market sells extremely dark sapphires. Listen, that's a great, great question. First of all, we're going to show you an engagement ring very near and dear to mine and Judy's heart. Judy?
Now's my cue to pop back in.
Yeah.
I'll show you mine, because I love it, Randy, just as you were talking about your girlfriend. And this is a deeper stone too. When you turn it certain ways, you'll see that beautiful light celadon glow. But perfect example of a sapphire being chosen.
And we chose that because that is our business, that we were in gemstone business. And diamonds are almost passe anymore. although, or people might be looking at diamonds that would be kind of the natural uncut diamonds and things like that. Your engagement stone should really tell a story of your life. I think so, or of your love at least. But my husband bought me a beautiful sapphire ring when my son was born. Does that mean he was born in September, Vanny? We don't know. But anyway, it is a good durable gemstone. Now let's talk about the color, because somebody broached that subject about the color and what's the best color of a sapphire. Well, the truth of the matter is I can't tell you the answer to that question, because color is a very personal choice. Deeper blue is a better blue. Yes and no. Okay, so there's Mary. These guys, I'm glad we're doing this. A lot of great questions. To me, the best color ever in a sapphire was the cashmere sapphire. It's like a cornflower blue is the way that they described that. And it's just beautiful. Judy's is very close to that color, what we would call a cornflower blue. Now, sometimes I remember in my early days, are Ceylon sapphires still available? Yes, they are, but probably more in the secondary market. Those were the ones that were coming out of Thailand, the Kanchanabris and the Ceylon sapphires. Well, actually, let me get to all the places where sapphires mined. I'm glad that you guys are taking me in different directions on this, but okay. So color is a personal choice. And when I was in the shopping channels very early on, I remember we had these people talking about the midnight sapphires and how rare they are. It was a bunch of hogwash. They were just so dark, they looked almost like onyx. I'm like, that's not a rare sapphire. There is such thing as a black sapphire. In fact, when we talk about the colors of sapphire, remember, it's part of the corundum family of gemstones, and sapphire can occur in every single color except red. They're saying, wait a minute, why can't we have a red sapphire? Because if you did, it would be a ruby. So the only two members of the corundum family are rubies and sapphires. If it's yellow, orange, blue, green, black, any other color but red, it's considered a sapphire. If it is red, if it is pink, it is considered a sapphire. And that was a matter of some controversy, because I think the sapphire miners were trying to include the pink sapphires into the ruby category just so they could ask more money for it. But make no mistake about it, it's got to be a blood red ruby to be called a ruby. Anything else is a sapphire. Another question. Oh, okay. I was talking about all the places that sapphire is or has been mined. And the reason I put Montana up there is because the United States is actually a pretty important miner of sapphires these days. In Montana, there's a number of different locations you can go and get Montana sapphires. They are, unfortunately, probably more of a cost per carat than a lot of other sapphires of equal color, only because it's that rare to get that Montana sapphire. But here are some of the other places. Australia does a fair amount of sapphires. I think they're quite pretty, to be honest. China, Kenya, Myanmar, which is what Burma what was Burma and now Myanmar, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. And that's where we start talking about those cashmere sapphires in India and Pakistan, places like that. Madagascar, big producer these days. Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia. Cambodia has some great sapphires and rubies as well. Nigeria, Rwanda, Tanzania, and this is a really interesting story, because I know that when I was learning about, I was filming in Tanzania for shows on QVC, there were a lot of people that were going to Tanzania in search of a blue stone, which would have been a sapphire. But that's when the natives, the native people of Tanzania, the Maasai, they were taking these people that wanted the blue stone and showing them that new blue stone that is tanzanite. And that's how and that was in the late 1960s, I think it was. And that's really where the tanzanite mining came to the forefront. But again, USA is another important source for sapphires these days. One of the things I did want to talk about, there's always folklore and legends that I think can be fun. Unless you have another question you wanted me to answer.
You're doing well.
She keeps you on a.
Here's a question.
How accessible are pod paracha sapphires now? Susan, that is a great question. For those of you that don't know, it's kind of a peachy color of sapphire. And a natural pod paracha would be thousands and thousands of dollars per carat. There's not a lot of them. There are some lab-created alternatives. There's a lab-created pod paracha color sapphire that's out there, but that would not command as much the price as the true pod paracha. If you've ever seen one in person, it's incredibly impressive. It's almost like when you see some of those really rare tourmalines from Brazil, that only stones that came from that area could be called that. The pod paracha would be really kind of the same thing. I'll get some pictures of that for you, and I will put that on the screen a little bit later.
You ready for this?
What am I ready for?
Take a look at your screen.
Oh, yes. Okay, we also thought it'd be fun. Now, I will give you a couple more snippets about sapphire, but I thought it'd be fun also for those of you that don't know. We talked about this briefly on our Sunday Fun Day programs, that my collection is now available on gemsonvogue.com, which is gems, GEMSENVOGUE.com. And I have a collection of peridot, I have a collection of turquoise on there, and I have a collection of beads, and I have a collection of opals, a lot of the gemstones that I was sort of known for. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of tell you what's been the most popular single item in my collection thus far. Comes as no surprise to me. It's this ring. This is a peridot ring that Judy is showing off on her finger. It is all bezel set, so no prongs to mess with that one. I want to say I forget off the top of my head. Let me look at my notes. I think it's around, yes, 9+ carats of peridot. And for a price of under $100, it's crazy. And it's free shipping and a 3-year warranty. This is something else I read on the website recently. And then there will be a link for that on, what is it, Judy, on the comments section?
Give me a moment. Give me a moment. I have to get back to my duties. There it is.
Okay, so you click on that. But I was reading, we have a lot of sizes available, but if your size isn't available, and I saw this right on their website, I didn't realize this. If you tell them before you, like as you're ordering it and before they ship it, they can size it up or down 2 sizes for free. And I know that they would do sizing for a nominal fee, but if it's before they ship it to you, they can probably adjust to a size that you want, up or down to, if you do that at the time that you're ordering.
Look, I'm writing in.
Judy's writing in. There it is.
There's the link.
Okay, a good match to that ring in the peridot is also going to be that bracelet. Now, that bracelet is spectacular. It has, again, quite a amount of silver metal weight on that. I didn't even tell you on the ring, by the way, almost 7 grams of silver on that ring that Judy was wearing. Now, the bangle, 18.45 grams of precious metal. 18.45. And this one has 2 3/4 carats of the peridot. Remember, peridot is a completely natural, untreated gemstone, so nothing done whatsoever. And even sapphires, like we showed you on Judy's ring, most conservative estimates are that 95% of sapphires today are heat treated. So it's not uncommon for a gemstone to be treated, but it's very rare for one that has no treatment at all, and peridot's in that category. One other story about sapphires before I move on to our next subject, which will be our
Not for sale.
not for sale. There was a story I learned in the first gem class that I ever took. It wasn't with the GIA. It was a continuing education class at the University of South Florida. And there was a, folklore and legends that sometimes, when you're trying to knock off the king to try and take his place. Somebody was crushing up Sapphire and putting it in the food, hoping that they would die. Well, all it did was fix their acid indigestion, because if the chemical composition of Sapphire is aluminum oxide. And if you look at what you take for an upset tummy like Maalox, it's aluminum hydroxide. So if you're going to grind up a Sapphire, first of all, you're wasting a lot of money. Secondly, it's not going to kill anybody. Next question. Oh, give us the website again. It is called Gems, GEMSENVOGUE.com. So it's all one word, Gems en Vogue, which is pronounced en vogue, as my French-speaking wife tells me. So way to multitask. Too funny.
That's great.
Too funny. So so far, are you enjoying Wednesday Spends Day? I might have to trademark that before somebody else takes it.
Like it.
All right, so there's the bracelet, and
what's the price on the bracelet?
The price on the bracelet is amazing to me, $118.
Yes.
And by the way, remember, every order of $75 or more, free shipping, 3-year limited warranty, and again, if it's coming down to a ring, and when you order it, if you request maybe you want a half size, but then they'll be able to take care of you. The customer service is excellent. You're going to talk to a human being by the name of Jennifer anytime that you're calling the customer service line there.
You ready to talk about Opal?
I am ready for Opal. You know that I was the first to ever introduce opals, Ethiopian opals that is, to the shopping channel world. It was about 10 years, maybe even close to 11 years ago. And I'll never forget, I have in my book a specimen of an Ethiopian opal, but that was all I ever owned, because at that time they did not have a gem grade opal really coming out of Ethiopia. It is another example of a gemstone that has no treatment whatsoever. It also is what we call a phenomenal gemstone. Now, does phenomenal mean it's really, really great? Well, yeah, but that's not what we mean. Phenomenal means that it exhibits a specific optical phenomenon. Now, this is the typical white crystal Ethiopian opal, and it exhibits a phenomenon that is called play of color. And the way that that works, you see all the colors of the rainbow in one gemstone. And depending upon the angle that you view that opal, or the angle that the light passes through that opal, determines the color that your eye is going to see. But this is literally all the colors of the rainbow in one gemstone, and it will shift as you wear it. Now this, I love this pendant. Judy's bringing it up a little closer, and it's buffering a little bit on that, but that is that play of color that you look for. There are 8 5x3 pair opals and 1 4mm round opal, about 1.2 carats of the opal, and 7.6 grams. It does include the chain. It's an 18-inch chain with a 2-inch extender. That is the, I think, oh no, that's the second most popular opal in my collection right now. The second most popular opal. The most popular one, I don't have a sample to show you right now, but if you're going on gemsonvogue.com, look for the ring that's a halo of citrine around that opal. And I think the ring is something crazy like $55. I mean, that's for an Ethiopian opal with a halo is crazy. This one is $64. I could not imagine if that was on the shopping channels that we used to give opals to, that'd probably be a $150 or $200 opal right there.
Ready for the earrings?
I am ready for the earrings. Now, Judy put these earrings on, and they are spectacular. This is what I mean. This is the very definition of what I mean by play of color. You see some blue, I see red, I see yellow, I see, and again, it's interesting when you look at the science behind it, because there are these microscopic silica spheres you can remember, most opals are born out of sand, and they're in places that are very hot, like Ethiopia or like Australia or Mexico. So they have these little silica spheres, and if they are arranged in a certain pattern and they are a certain size, you'll get every color of the rainbow. And I think that there's no better value in opals today than Ethiopian opals. There's night and day. And I own Australian opals. I love Australian opals, but they can't touch the price of what we're doing on these Ethiopian opals right now. And I don't know if I had anything else. I think the earrings, this is crazy. Look at the size of these earrings. They're $56. The only problem with the earrings, you have to buy something else in order to get the free shipping. That's how, this is 6 5x3 pair opals, 2 5x3 oval opals. For that price, it's insane. What is wrong with me?
Look at Maricela.
Opal is a beautiful stone, Paul. My mom has a pair of earrings. Yay. I do love opal. I think that it's funny. I talk about, Australian and Ethiopian opals, the same chemical makeup and Mohs scale. Yes, that is a great question. An opal is an opal, and it's going to have the same physical, chemical, and optical properties. And even those fire opals that you see from Mexico or from Brazil, they're going to have the same hardness. They're going to have the same toughness. They're going to have the same chemical composition. But they look different. My feeling about the Australian opals, and the first piece of jewelry I ever had made for myself were my cufflinks in the, I should have brought those down, in the Australian opals. And Australian opals, generally speaking, you're going to either get something with a predominantly green and blue flash in there, or you're going to get one with a lot of other colors, including red and orange. And if you're getting the red and orange flash, especially in a lightning ridge black opal, you pay premium price for that. My feeling about the Ethiopian opals, and I don't know exactly why this is, there's a much more broad flash of more colors in the Ethiopian opals at a much reduced cost. And the only thing I could figure out, I'm trying to figure out what's different about them geologically than what was happening in Australia. Australia, if you go to the outback, if you're in the center of Australia, it's very dry. It's the driest part of the driest state of the driest continent on Earth, but it's not really mountainous. In fact, when you think about Australia, you think of the East Coast in the Blue Mountains. They're over there. When you get to the middle of the country, there's basically one monolith. It's called Ayers Rock, or Uluru as the natives call it. So there's not a lot of mountains there. So everything's really kind of at what would have been a sea level. But in Ethiopia, those suckers are mined like 10,000 feet above sea level in very volcanic ash. And the only thing I can figure out, and I haven't confirmed this, is that I feel like the Ethiopian opals have a lot more of that color come from that volcanic ash and that very high altitude. So I'll have to do some more research and find out why they are consistently so much broader color flash in there. And there's the gemsonvogue.com. Again, one word, gems, ENVOGUE.com. And that will get you to the website. You can see things from Michael Valatutti. You can see some diamonds there. You can see my, as I said, we didn't really go into the turquoise story today, but suffice it to say, my Sleeping Beauty turquoise and my Kingman turquoise represent probably over 35% of all the orders on my collection. So Sapphire is still, turquoise is still very strong in my collections. Awesome show, learning so much. I'm so glad to hear that. Remember, this will live on YouTube like all of my gem classes do. So this will be just kind of an addendum to, this will be this week's lesson. I want to talk about fire opal. Where's the fire opal from, Nancy? There are two, they can come from other places, but predominantly Mexico, the Mexican fire opals. And then Brazil also has some very nice fire opals as well. They do not have the play of color. They have that usually a cherry or yellow or red color to the fire opals. Although ironically, the people in the outback of Australia refer to the white crystal opal as fire opal. Now let's talk a little bit about beads. Beads are what I call an affordable luxury. I have access to beads from all over the world. And I love that you can get a big look for a very small price. These are my 4 most popular selling bead bracelets right now. A wrap bracelet, as Judy is demonstrating right there. Isn't she amazing?
My new name is Carol Merrill.
She's Carol. What's behind door number 2, Judy? No, but Judy is obviously has a love of gems as well. You're looking at the green jade, one of the most popular, and you're looking at the tiger eye. Now this one has been very popular because of the blue, is the sodalite, a good alternative to lapis. And then the real surprise to me, I shouldn't be surprised. I love this. Have you never seen rhodonite in beads? You've probably seen rhodochrosite, which is that pink gemstone that has kind of the white in it. This is a pink gemstone that has the black in it. It is gorgeous, and that is one of the top selling bead. I'm really proud of you guys. That's one of the top selling bead bracelets in my collection. The one that surprised me, quite candidly, is that is outselling the tiger's eye 3-to-1. And I would have put money that the tiger's eye would have been the most popular of all the beads, because it's another one of those phenomenal gemstones with a tiger eye effect. But yeah, you can see about 1/2 inch wide. And this is the great thing about this. It wraps around your wrist. One size basically fits all. It does have the precious metal wire in there for $29 a bracelet. That still blows my mind. Okay, so I want you to get any of your last questions in. If there's anyone that I missed, that's my fault, not Judy's fault, because Judy's doing like 3 jobs on this video today.
I'm not being paid enough.
No, I'm going to be making dinner right after this, Judy.
Okay.
Yes, and today will be steak fajitas. Did I give you? I think there's some other choices in the bracelets also, but I only wanted to show you the kind of the top 4 sellers right now. We also have a black agate, which basically looks like onyx, and we have, what else am I thinking? I forget. It's another one. Oh well.
They'll find it on the website.
Oh, you know what? I think I didn't bring it. I didn't bring the card. It had all the colors of it. So that's really going to do it for today. Remember, gemsonvogue.com is where you get all of the goodies. Free shipping on any order that is over $75. Say hi to Michael Valatuti over there. He does lessons usually every other day or so. And we do some shows together called Gem Miners. We the last one I think was the turquoise or maybe opals. But we talk about our different experiences at the mines, which is a great deal of fun. So any more questions? Speak now or forever hold your peace, or at least until the next one. I think we got it. Is tiger eye? Oh yeah. Great question. Tiger's eye is definitely still incredibly popular, and it has another one of those phenomena, which is the cat's eye effect, is what they call that. And it's these little needle-like inclusions inside that tiger's eye. And if they're arranged in a certain way, it looks like a very bright eye of a cat or tiger. So that's why they call it tiger's eye. We can't have enough gemstone education, in my opinion. I feel the same way about it. Remember, if you want some more of this, you go on, we're on Facebook now.
Mary's helping you out.
Mary?
Yes. Labradorite.
Labradorite, that's right. How could I forget a gemstone that I practically made famous? I love
labradorite. Yes, labradorite. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This was really fun and challenging to set up, but we hope that you were able to see the jewelry well enough.
And we're working on some other things, like
And also don't forget my peridot earrings. We didn't get a chance to put
Oh
those
yeah,
on,
these are
but
great.
if you're noticing those, that's
I love these earrings. We had a problem finding them on the website, gemsonvogue.com. There was some gremlin in there that wasn't showing it, but now it's on there and available.
Right.
Those peridot earrings are outstanding. They look great. We should get those for you.
We talked about that.
We really should. I love those ones. All right, Nancy and everybody, thank you so much. Remember, you can find more education on gemstones on my YouTube channel, which is Paul Deasy Gemstones. And if you do watch it, please help us out by subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything. You're thinking a subscription. It doesn't cost you anything. Thanks so much. It's dinner time. Thank you for joining us for Wednesday, Spends Day.
I have to see if I can go up here and find the right button to say goodbye. Goodbye.